everyone. Welcome back to the presidential D&D campaign where AI-voiced U.S. presidents play Dungeons & Dragons with me, Ben Shapiro, your AI dungeon master. Except this time, it's not D&D, and it's not part of the campaign. Today, we are going to be playing Chaosium's Call of Cthulhu 7th edition. It's a system that none of us have that much experience with, but are all big fans of. So today, instead of being the dungeon master, I am going to be the keeper of arcane lore. To start off, I'll have everyone introduce their characters. Obama, do you want to go first?
Yeah, of course, I'll be playing as Barack Obama, a professor of history at Boston University. Or at least I was a professor of history at BU. A couple of years ago, during some of my studies, I found a journal written by Dr. Olivia Blackwood detailing eldritch lore. While I was reading, I had a pretty crazy experience where I had a vision of an alien monster coming out of the ocean and destroying a small town, and then the whole world. The resulting psychosis affected me deeply, and I lost my job. After I recovered and came to grips with the vision, I have taken to traveling in an attempt to find the town that I saw in that vision, which has been permanently burned in my memories. My first stop is hoping that it is Dr. Blackwood's childhood home, Dunsmouth. I have booked passage on the Sea Witch to take me there.
I'm playing as Joe Biden, a dock worker from Brooklyn. I don't really have any experiences that I've had with the mythos or mysteries of the universe. I had a friend who had gotten entangled with dark things and they went missing not too long ago. I found a journal in their place that ended with a hastily scribbled note. The answer is in Dunsmouth. A few days later, I was able to get a job on board the Sea Witch, which is taking a group of patrons to Dunsmouth. I'm hoping to find my friend and bring them back home.
Saving the best for last, I'm playing as Donald Trump, the wealthy celebrity from Upper New York. I've always had a fascination with the arcane and have used my considerable riches to gather up as much information as I can. I haven't had any actual encounters with the mythos, but I found some mentions leading me to believe that there is a trove of ancient knowledge, tomes, and grimoires located in Dunsmouth after the destruction of the Children of the Void, a cult that had taken over the town like 100 years ago. So I purchased the Sea Witch and scheduled a trip out to Dunsmouth, selling some tickets since I don't want to lose too much money on this venture if it proves fruitless. Then again, losing the money wouldn't hurt much.
Awesome, thanks guys. All right, our adventure today starts off in the fall of 1923, a couple of years after the start of Prohibition, on the Sea Witch, a small ship that is traveling down the coast to Dunsmouth after departing from New York City. Dunsmouth is a small, secluded village that is separated from the rest of society by thick forests and steep cliffs, accessible only by sea or by hiking about 25 miles through difficult terrain from the nearest town. Today, all of our investigators, through luck or happenstance, are aboard the ship. At the moment, dinner is being served in the quite fancy dining hall, lobster with oysters and caviar, with grape juice and sodas being served in place of alcohol. Of course, the appearance of grape juice does not necessarily mean that it is truly grape juice. What are each of your characters doing?
I'll be sitting at the head table, of course, chomping down on the extremely delicious food that I bought for the ship and drinking my champagne and just basking in the knowledge that I am the richest one here.
I'll be sitting at a table near the back, eating sparingly but appreciating the food. It did cost a pretty penny and most of my savings to purchase this ticket, but it was the only way to get to Dunsmouth that I could find. At least that was leaving soon. The vision that I had weighs heavy on my mind, but the food and atmosphere does provide a nice distraction.
I'll be working in the kitchens down below, doing my best to fake that I know what I am doing, even though I've never worked in a kitchen before.
All right, let's get started with a roll then, and a brief tutorial of how rolls work in Call of Cthulhu, since they are quite different from 5th edition. For skill checks in this, you actually want to roll beneath whatever your stat is for that skill, and you'll roll the percentile dice, which is the 2 10 dice. So if you have a 50 for that skill, you want to roll below a 50 to succeed. Then there is also hard successes, which means you got below half of your skill, or below 25 in this case. Finally, extreme successes, which is below 1/5 of your skill, or 10 in this case. Then there are critical successes, which are 1s, and fumbles, which is just if you roll really high. We can get more into those when they happen throughout the campaign. Let's start off by having Joe roll a psychology check to bluff that you know what you are doing, fooling the more experienced people around you.
All right, I have a 15 in that box. What happens then?
So that means you need to roll below your skill level, so below a 15.
Damn, that's not great odds.
Yeah, that sucks.
That's a 17, so it is a fail.
You attract some attention, but it passes off as you being just a pretty new or terrible cook. One of the more senior cooks comes over. Hey, you, get out of here. Go fetch some potatoes or something from the back. You're ruining the lobster.
Yes, of course, my bad. I haven't cooked lobster before. I'm more used to cooking, other food.
All right, now I'll have you roll for fast talk.
I don't have anything in that box, so does that mean I need to get below a 5?
Yeah.
Damn, I can already see that these dice are going to be really rigged.
That's a 47.
The cook eyes you suspiciously and then turns to continue cooking the food.
I'm getting out of here. I'll go find those potatoes that he mentioned and just kind of make myself scarce.
That sounds good. So, in addition, there is a small box right beside each skill. After you successfully use a skill, you need to mark that box. And then when we do ability score increases, the skills you used have a chance of increasing. All right, back in the dining hall, Barack, a young gentleman dressed in fancy attire at your table, begins talking to you. Excited to be in Dunsmouth? It is quite secluded, you know. The missus and I are going for a romantic trip away from the big city. And to be on the same boat as Monsieur Trump over there, well, it is quite the honor.
Yeah, sure, man.
What brings you on this trip?
Needed to get away as well, like you said.
I can see that you too must be a man of much wealth then. I made my money on the stock market in the city. I had an uncle who gave me a heads up about prohibition, and so I bet against all the breweries and distilleries on the market and made back so much money, I'll never have to work again. What about you? How'd you earn your passage? This wasn't cheap.
I'm a professor in Boston.
Wow, they must pay you guys quite well to afford this.
They did quite well. Look, I get that you're trying to be polite, but my apologies, I'm not really in the mood to talk.
No worries, I'll leave you be. But hey, Teach, you need anything, just holler. My name's Michael O'Connor. This is my wife, Marie. More than happy to help out an older fellow such as yourself.
I'm 37.
No kidding? Wow, no offense, you seem a lot older than that. Must be all them books you've been reading. All right, I'll let you go. He turns back to the young lady to his side and they continue eating, talking in loud voices about all the things they want to do in Dunsmouth. Meanwhile, at the head table, Donald, a young sailor, approaches you rather nervously. Excuse me, sir?
Yeah, what is it, young man? Want my autograph or something?
No, sir, my apologies. I didn't mean to intrude. It's just that, well, there seems to be a storm brewing up ahead and we are still about 5 miles from Dunsmouth. The captain wanted me to come and inform you and try to maybe get everyone back to their cabins. It's looking to be a mean one out there.
Damn, all right, yeah, whatever. I'll clink my glass and stand to address the room. Hello, my friends and travelers in this dreary landscape we call life. Unfortunately, I have been informed that there is a storm brewing that looks to be potentially causing some trouble. If you wouldn't mind heading back to your rooms to allow the crew to move freely and ensure your safety as well, that would be great.
There's some gradual groaning, but everyone gets up and begins heading back to their rooms. Some of the servants come and clean up the food and tablecloths and such, whisking everything away to properly stowed locations. Do the two of you want to head back to your rooms as well?
I'll head back, yeah, grabbing my briefcase and holding it close to me. It contains my most prized possessions, the book that I was reading while I had the vision, a picture of my late wife, and the last of the money that I have, which isn't much.
I'll head back to my suites as well. Not a worry in my mind other than where this trove of knowledge might be located in the city. Although outside of the game, this is about to go terribly.
Oh yeah, for sure. This ship is going to crash or something.
As if on cue, heavy raindrops begin falling and thunder crashes. The captain calls for all hands on deck, and Joe, even you are enlisted to help bail water out of the boat. The waves become extremely rough, sending the ship lurching up and down. Then, there is a moment of calm. The waves calm, the thunder and rain cease, and then a huge crash, shaking the boat as it collides with something in the ocean. The captain and crew call out and begin trying to evacuate everyone. Barack, in the chaos, you find yourself being funneled towards the same lifeboat as Donald. And Joe, at the last moment, you hop in the boat as well. It fits about 15 people, and there are probably about 20 of you as the boat hits the water, knocking a couple of people overboard in the rough seas. The Sea Witch sinks quickly as it fills up with water, just barely visible in the dark night with the ominous clouds hanging overhead, illuminated only by the lingering lights on board and the violent flashes of lightning. Salt water sprays all around as the boat bounces on the rough waters.
Can I try to help some of the people who had fallen overboard? Only with one hand, though, the other firmly gripping my suitcase.
I want to help him as well.
All right, I'll give you 2 bonus dice then, Barack, on a straight-up dexterity check. So you'll roll 2 additional 10s dice, and then take the lowest of the possible rolls.
All right, that's a 48 then, which beats my dexterity of 55. Only barely, though.
The 2 of you are able to grab onto one of the people who had fallen overboard, Marie O'Connell, the wife of the guy who was talking to you at dinner less than 15 minutes ago, Barack. Michael is nowhere to be seen, though. Hopefully he had made it on a different boat. She is hysterical as you pull her up, crying and sobbing. Donald, what is your character doing right now?
I'm just going to be sitting there, rather dumbfounded, honestly, at how wrong this all went. This should have been a smooth sail. I hired the best crew, and it wasn't a long trip. In between the lightning strikes, can I see what it was that the ship hit?
I'm going to have you roll for spot hidden. It'll be a hard roll since it's nighttime. There are people all over the boat, and there are heavy waves tossing the boat up and down.
So that means I need to get under half of my score?
Yeah, that's right.
Damn, that's a 73 and I needed a 25.
You don't see anything. No rocks, no barriers. You have no idea what the ship could have hit.
All right, that's fine. Are we close to the shore?
There are a couple of sailors on board, and most people are paddling, but nobody is really going in a unified effort. The shore is about 500 yards to the west.
Can I try to get everyone to head in the right direction?
Sure, roll for charm then.
That's a 14 out of 15.
You shout above the noise of the storm and the ocean and do gather most people's attention, and they start rowing in a more uniform manner. There are still a couple of people in the water who desperately try to swim to one of the 3 lifeboats or to the shore. Out of the corner of your eye, you see one of the other lifeboats tip over, spilling its inhabitants out into the sea.
Damn, we gotta help them, guys.
I'm all ears, Barack, but I don't think we can. If we pick up too many more people, our boat is going to tip too. Let's get to the shore, unload, and then we can try to come back for everyone else.
Yeah, I think you're right, Donald.
Christ, yeah, you're right. All right, we'll go for the shore then.
All right, I'm going to have one of you roll for pilot. You'll have a bonus die since you have more than enough rowers.
I have a 40 for pilot.
Damn, I don't think your character should be better than me at anything but whatever. You should roll for it then.
That's a 16, so a hard success then?
All right, Joe. You call out row, 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 directing everyone to row together to make the ship move quite efficiently towards the shore. As you reach the shore, there is another flash of lightning, and looking back, there is nobody else in the water that you can see.
Wait, nobody is there? What about the other rowboat and all the swimming people?
You can't see anyone out on the waters, only the wreckage of the Sea Witch, little pieces of wood floating. As you look out, you suddenly see one of the other rowboats, empty and in pieces, washing up to the shore.
I want to roll another spot hidden then to try to see where all the people went.
All right, that sounds good. I'll actually have all 3 of you roll for that.
That's a 20 out of 50.
I got a 94 out of 35.
I got an 88 out of 35.
A hard success for Donald, then. The 2 of you see literally nothing as you swipe the salt water out of your eyes. As you look out, and with another violent flash of the plasma in the air, you see something strange. A handful of eyes, reflected by the flash, just barely poking out of the water. They look like frogs almost, but frogs that are the size of humans or even bigger. You blink, and they are gone. But you did see them, and they definitely weren't the remaining passengers. I'm going to have you roll for sanity.
44, so that's a success. My sanity score is 60.
All right, you take 1 point of sanity damage, convincing yourself that maybe it was just a trick of the light or something. You definitely feel a fear of going back out onto the waters, but it isn't a phobia or anything, just that you don't want to go back out there.
I'm not afraid of anything, but yeah, it looks like everyone else is gone. Maybe some of them made it to the shore?
How would the lifeboat have gotten wrecked, though?
Maybe the one that tipped over had hit the same rock as the Sea Witch.
Yeah, okay, I guess that could make sense. The storm could have thrown the boat into the rock, dashing it to pieces. How many people made it to shore with us?
On the shore, which is a very small beach right on the border of a thick forest, there are about 18 people. The 3 of you, Marie, Thomas Harris, who was the chief mate or the second in command on the Sea Witch, Robert Crane, a wealthy entrepreneur who was aboard, and another dozen people, a mix of passengers, sailors, and servants. Most of them are hyperventilating, sitting on the sand, crying, or otherwise freaking out about their recent near-death experience. The storm does seem to be letting up now. The rain falls less and the thunder quiets. The waves begin to calm down, though any trace of the wreckage is pretty much gone.
It's all right, everyone. We're safe now.
Safe. Thomas stands up. We are stranded in the middle of nowhere at night with no food or drinkable water.
The captain said that we were only about 5 miles from Dunsmouth, though. It shouldn't be far if we just continue following the coastline south.
You're the whole bloody reason we're out here. He steps towards you, fist clenched. Some of the other survivors begin to look at you angrily as well, Donald.
I want to be ready to punch Thomas if he swings at Donald.
Look, we are all on land now, and we need to stick together. Let's just start heading for Dunsmouth.
Do you want to roll for Persuade Barack?
Sure. Damn, that's a 67 out of 45.
Several of the other survivors, mostly the hired crew and servants, get up and begin angrily marching over to Donald as well. Yeah, you're the reason we're here. If you hadn't hired us to come down here, we'd still have our ship.
Damn, these guys are going to kill me. Look, everyone, calm down. It wasn't my fault. I'm stuck here too.
Robert Crane walks over. Donald here was the one who rallied us and got us to make it to shore safely. Otherwise, we'd be out there with everyone else. Thomas looks over. Fine, whatever. I'm not going to Dunsmouth, though. Not with him. He thrusts an accusatory finger at Donald. Anyone who actually wants to live, come with me. Hillsborough isn't too far north from here.
We need to stick together.
You're welcome to come with, then.
I'll look hopelessly at Thomas. No, I'm going to Dunsmouth. It's closer.
He shrugs and begins heading north along the shore. Most of the group follows him, even Robert Crane, who looks at the three of you apologetically. I'm sorry, it's just not worth it.
So it's just the three of us heading south then?
Marie O'Connell stayed with you as well.
Marie, you should go north. If your husband made it to shore somewhere, I'm sure they'd head north as well.
She nods and slowly begins following the others.
Well, it's a pleasure to meet the both of you. Mr. Trump, you don't know me, but I was one of the servants on the boat.
Why are you sticking around?
You hired me to go to Dunsmouth. Plus, it's closer, and I think that it's the better shot. Besides, Thomas has a temper and is a terrible leader. That's why he is still the chief mate and not captain of his own ship.
What's your name? I'm Barack.
I'm Joe.
Well, you both know me. Should we get going then? I don't like the feeling of this beach or these waters. I don't know where those other people went.
They all just vanished.
Yeah, strange.
Did either of you see what happened out there? That salt water got all in my eyes and I couldn't see anything.
Yeah, same here.
I saw... Well, I'm sure it was nothing. It's pretty dark out there.
All right, the three of you begin heading down the coast towards Dunsmouth. It's dark out, so I'm going to have you all roll another spot hidden to avoid tripping over tree branches and things in the dark.
That's an 18 out of 50 for me. Hard success.
I got a 31 out of 35.
Damn, I got an 84 out of 35. I'm rolling pretty terrible here, guys.
All right, since Donald got a hard success, he is able to warn you both right before you trip into some Poison Oak Joe. The trip is slow moving. The thick vines and trees make it so that you can hardly move 5 feet before climbing over or under something. After what seems like hours of hiking through the forest, the trees start to thin just a bit, and the sun begins to rise over the distant ocean horizon. You emerge out into a little cove and see Dunsmouth. It is a quaint little town, nestled into the back of the cove and surrounded on all sides by trees or steep rocky cliffs. There are probably about 80 buildings or so that make up the town, and no roads leading out. There is a small clearing off to one side of the village where you can see an empty field that must have just been harvested. Already a couple of boats are heading out into the waters to fish. From one of them, you see a young boy, no older than 10, with presumably his father. The young boy waves over at you from the distance, and you can hear his boyish yell just over the crashing waves calling out, "Hello! What are you doing out here?" His father sits him back down on the seat as he continues rowing out of the cove onto the open ocean.
All right, well, I'm assuming I'm covered in filth from the hike. Typically, I would hire someone to do the hiking for me. I don't like spending time outdoors. So I want to find an inn, rent a room, and take a bath. I'll even pay for these too.
After the grueling hike that you had, you are all covered in sweat and grime and dirt, yeah. The rest of the trek is easy comparatively. You reach Dunsmouth, attracting some odd looks from the locals, and find the inn, the Shrouded Mermaid. Entering, the bell rings, and after a minute or two, a young woman steps out of a back room. "Hello, how can I help you all today?"
I'd like to buy 3 rooms.
"Of course, sir. For how long?"
I don't know. When is the soonest boat out of here?
"Boat out of here?" "Oh, you're visitors then." "Sorry, we don't have many visitors here in Dunsmouth. Brian and Beryl come through about once a month. I think they'll probably be coming through here next week or the one after that."
All right, that sounds good. Are you sure you're okay paying for us for that long, Donald?
I'm rich. You guys are broke. It's what I do.
The woman scribbles some notes on a piece of paper. "I'll put you down for 2 weeks, but then if you just pay before you leave, we'll mark you down for whenever the boat comes in. For the 3 rooms for 2 weeks, you're looking at $84 even. We don't charge tax here."
Wow, I remember the days when a hotel was that cheap.
"Yeah, I bet you do, Joe." "All right, so you each have your own hotel room in the Shrouded Mermaid, reserved for at least 2 weeks. After getting cleaned up, the 3 of you meet back in the main lobby of the building. What do you want to do now?"
Look, guys, I need to come clean about something. I didn't come with you to Dunsmouth because I was hired by Mr. Trump here. A friend of mine, a gal named Sarah Davis, went missing a while back after getting mixed up in some pretty weird stuff. I found a mention of Dunsmouth and then got a job on the Sea Witch to make it down here to look for her.
Interesting. Sarah Davis, you say? I knew a Sarah Davis from my time at Boston University.
Hey, Sarah went to school there. She graduated just a couple of years ago. Her folks were pretty rich. How'd you know her?
She was a student of mine. I taught history there. She was a smart girl. It's a small world then, isn't it? I'd be okay to help you search for her here in Dunsmouth.
Well, since we are in the business of sharing secrets, I think that Sarah and I probably came here to Dunsmouth for the same reason. I've heard about some books on some pretty weird subjects that are supposedly hidden somewhere here. A cult took over this town like 100 years ago and left them behind, apparently.
"Excuse me, are you talking about the Children of the Void?" "My apologies, I couldn't help it over here. That was a dark chapter in our town's history. My grandfather, Lucas Brown, knows all about them. He helped take them down, you know."
Really? Would we be able to talk to him?
"Of course, I'm hopeful he'd tell you all about it. He is usually down on the docks in the mornings fishing. You can't miss him. Here, the woman pulls out a map of the town. The docks are just down the street here. Can't miss them."
Well, I guess that's where we're going first. Joe, when did Sarah go missing?
About a month ago.
I'll look at the young lady who is manning the counter. Tell me, was there another visitor who came here? Maybe a month ago or so?
Yeah, Darlene came to town about a month ago. Sweet girl, she bought the room upstairs for a whole month. Haven't seen her around in about a week, though. Todd was going to be cleaning out the room this afternoon if she doesn't come back.
Mind if we took a look first? We think she might have been a friend of ours who went missing about a month ago.
The young woman looks nervous. Roll for persuade to see if she'll let you go check it out.
That's a 29 out of 45.
All right, maybe. Not until Todd gets back, though. He's out on a fishing trip at the moment. He can take you up there to see her things. I hope she turns up again. I really like Darlene.
Should we go talk to Lucas then? Maybe Sarah went and talked to him too?
Yeah, that sounds good.
You exit the Shrouded Mermaid, finding the small town still very quiet, even though it is getting close to noon. There are some children playing in the street, kicking around a small ball, though as soon as they see you, one of the older ones picks up the ball and they head down a side alley.
This is reminding me of Loudwater. Another small, secluded town with a secret for sure.
Yeah, I'm betting this one isn't a magical amulet that lets people not get sick, but then will kill them off, though.
No, it's definitely not an amulet. As you head down to the docks, which is less than a 5-minute walk, you see some of the boats pulling back in after a morning spent fishing. The young boy who had waved at you sees you again and eagerly hops out of his boat. Visitors! Daddy, we have visitors again! We haven't had visitors since that pretty girl came here last month. His father grimaces. Sorry about him. He gets a bit too excited sometimes. Welcome to our little town. If you don't mind me asking, how'd you get here? Did you really hike all the way from Hillsborough? That's a long walk.
No, our ship crashed last night. We got separated from the others and found ourselves here in Dunsmouth.
A shipwreck? Let me get some of the other fishers. We can go check for survivors. Where was it at?
No more than 5 miles to the north.
The man nods and begins to head off, then turns around. My apologies. I never introduced myself. I'm William, but you can call me Bill. This is my son Arthur. Then he leaves, grabbing his son's hand and going to round up some of the other fishermen to go looking for survivors.
Seems nice enough. He's probably a bad guy.
All right, let's talk to Thorne then.
Oh my God, Joe, it's Lucas. Now you remember Thorne?
Wait, I'm not talking about the fisher guy who just talked to us. I'm talking about the old man on the docks. That wasn't Thorne?
For Christ's sake, Thorne is from the other campaign. The old guy is Lucas. All right, let's go talk to him.
You approach Lucas, sitting on a worn wooden chair at the end of one of the docks, staring blankly out into the water.
Hey, are you Lucas? Your granddaughter sent us here to talk to you. Said you know something about the children of the void.
His face flashes a look of fear when you mention the cult, before fading back into a blank stare.
Hello, sir?
No response, but you notice his hands begin to shake slightly and a tear rolls down his face.
Can I do a psychology check? What's going on with him?
Sure, I'll have all three of you do a psychology check, actually.
Damn, that's an 82 for me. I needed a 60.
An 81 for me, not any better.
God damn it, I got a 74. This game is rigged.
All right, you don't know what's going on with him. He is just staring blankly out at the ocean.
Let me try. Hey, Lucas, your granddaughter was telling us about how you helped take down the children of the void. Could you tell us anything about that?
You see a tug on his fishing pole and it slips out of his hands, falling into the sea. He doesn't move or react to it at all. His eyes widen and tears start streaming down his face. He stands up and then takes a step out into the ocean, falling in.
What the hell? I want to grab him as he falls.
All right, give me a sleight of hand check. Not really what that one is for, but you have to act quickly and accurately to stop him from falling in.
Damn, I needed a 10 and I got a 23.
You could use luck points to counteract it, but that's a lot of luck points to use on a single roll. You reach out to grab him, but he falls in anyways.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
I'm diving in, I guess.
I'll have you roll for swimming then, to dive in and try to bring him back.
That's an 89.
Holy hell, what is up with our rolls, guys? Barack, you need to go in after him.
Lucas begins to sink in the water, bubbles going up to the surface.
Well, yeah, I guess I'm going to dive in as well to try to help Joe.
All right, I'll have you roll for swimming then, but I'll give you a bonus die as well since you're both working together.
It's about damn time. All right, that's a 6. So a hard success against my 20 of swimming. It's really good that we had that bonus die too. Otherwise, it would have been a 66.
Joe, you can mark off your swim box too since you were there helping him. You were able to dive down and bring him back up, and he coughs up some water, still breathing but shallowly.
All right, we are able to get him back onto the dock then?
Yeah, as you get him on the dock, as he coughs up more water, he is just sobbing on his side.
We need to get this guy some help. This is Call of Cthulhu. Is there a mental asylum or anything in Dunsmouth?
Well, I think that's kind of metagaming, but no, there is actually not a mental asylum. There is a small hospital, though it is more of just a converted house. As you pick him up to take him there, the fishermen make their return, seeing Lucas soaked and coughing, and then noticing that both Barack and Joe soaked as well. Lucas! Bill calls out as a couple of the fishermen come down and take Lucas from you. What happened?
We just went to talk to him, and then he just jumped into the ocean.
Really? He just jumped in? What were you talking to him about?
Oh, just kind of shooting the breeze.
He'll eye you closely, then turn to face Lucas. He seemed off this morning. I thought it was strange. He was out here before I even got here this morning, and that was just before sunrise.
He was fishing before the sun came up? When does he normally come to the docks?
Not until just as I'm getting back. And he didn't respond when I called out. Honestly, I thought he might have still been asleep. Anyways, I need to get headed up to that shipwreck. Did you want to come with?
Sorry, I think I've been on the water for a bit too long, and that shipwreck was quite unnerving. I think I could use some rest.
Yeah, me too. Thanks, though.
Of course, I was shipwrecked once, when I was a boy. That's how my family came to live here in Dunsmouth, actually. I can definitely agree, I was afraid of the water for a long time after that.
Oh, I'm not afraid of the water. I just would rather get some rest.
Yeah, sure. He'll turn and get back into his small fishing boat, joined by one of the other fishermen. They row out into the harbor and then out into the ocean.
That's not really an ocean vessel, right?
Well, definitely not for extended travel, but it is a fishing boat that they use out on the ocean every day, tried and tested.
Oh, gotcha. I guess I don't know a lot about boats. All right, do we think that Todd will have come back to the Shrouded Mermaid? Perhaps we could go check out Sarah's room.
I would actually rather go check on Lucas in the hospital. Something is going on with him for sure.
All right, I'm fine with either or. But I think the academic in me is leaning towards finding out what is up with Lucas. That seems very strange. But then again, I don't want Todd to clean out the room before we are able to take a look.
Yeah, that's why I think we should check that first. We could lose some clues if he does.
All right, fine. You two go check on the room. I'm going to go to Lucas in the hospital.
So you guys are splitting up then?
I guess so.
All right, so first we will go to Joe and Barack. You head back to the Shrouded Mermaid, arriving just after a young man pulls up with a wheelbarrow.
Are you Todd?
Yes, sir, I'm Todd. Who are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I'll reach out and shake his hand. I'm Joe. We got into town this morning.
I'll shake his hand afterwards. I'm Barack.
Pleasure to meet the two of you then. How can I help you?
Well, the lady inside said that we could maybe take a look at Darlene's room before you cleared it out.
Ah, I see. Sad story, I'm afraid. I haven't seen Darlene for about a week now. She seemed like a troubled girl. She kept to herself mostly, though she did talk with Lucas down at the docks for a bit. Then one evening, she just didn't come back to the inn. Bill and the others went looking for her, but she hasn't turned up. If you ask me, I think she skipped town. She seemed to be running from something. Anyways, yeah, I can let you into her room if Serena said it's okay. Sorry to be jabbing your ear off.
No, not at all. Thanks for telling us. We think she might have been a friend of ours who went missing about a month ago.
He looks at you curiously. Are you what she was running from?
No, come on, no. She was a friend. Just want to know what happened to her and that she's safe.
Roll for charm.
Damn, that's a 68 out of 55?
He looks at you suspiciously, but grabs a key from his belt and opens the door to her room. All right, I can give you a minute, but not too long. I don't like that you're snooping in her stuff.
Thanks, we appreciate it.
Stepping into the room, you see that it's a mess. Papers are strewn all over the floor. The window is slightly ajar, and you can see that it ruined a lot of the papers on the desk that are still soaked from last night's storm. Todd says, "Oh, wow. It's a bigger mess than I thought it would be. Shame she left the window open. That'll need some repairs after the storm last night."
Yeah, mind if we take a look privately for just a minute?
Todd lets out a resigned sigh. Yeah, all right. Just for a minute, though. He turns and heads back down the hall, talking with Serena at the front desk. What do you both want to look for?
Would I be able to try to find anything related to the occult? Anything similar to the book in my briefcase?
And I'll just roll to find anything that I can that seems to be important.
Sure, I'll have Joe roll for spot hidden and Barack roll for occult then.
That's an 8, which is a hard success for me.
That's a 74 for me. Definitely failed that.
Barack, looking through some of the papers scattered across the floor, you find some notes relating to symbols that are similar to those in Dr. Blackwood's journal. She wrote notes on it, things like, "The children were right," "The town is the key," and "The deep calls with this." You are able to grab several pages of notes and pocket them as you hear Todd begin walking down the hallway. Joe, you are not nearly as productive as you try to sort through the mess on the desk, but the ink has smeared and you aren't able to make anything out of it. The papers are just ruined beyond recognition.
All right, do you have some handouts for me to take a look at?
Yeah, I'll post them on the screen as well.
Sweet.
Todd walks into the room. All right, that's enough. I need to clean this place out to make room for more guests.
What are you going to do if she comes back?
Well, she hasn't paid, and her reservation was up yesterday. I'll hold on to everything for a couple of days, then it'll go out with the fisherman. He motions to the door as he starts gathering everything into a burlap sack. Barack, since you had a hard success on that roll, you also see something interesting as you turn to leave. Some scratches on the floor and a hole in the wall right behind it, as if someone had flung open the door and it crashed into the wall.
Interesting. I'll make note of that before heading back to my room. We were up all night, so I could use a couple hours of rest.
Thank the gods I thought I was the only one who was tired. I'll retire to my room too.
You're always tired, though, Joe. All right, is it back to me then?
Yeah, we can head back to you, Donald. You find the hospital pretty easily, finding a sign outside. Knocking on the door, you hear some muffled noises coming from inside.
Is the door unlocked?
It is. As you open it up and step inside, you can see a doctor wearing a dirty black apron holding a pillow over Lucas's head as Lucas struggles to get free.
Holy hell. All right, is there anything I can grab and hit the doctor with?
Roll for luck.
This is so rigged it isn't even funny anymore. That's a 99.
That's really close to a fumble, but not quite. You reach for a bottle that you see and could break on his head, but it slips just out of your hand and crashes on the floor. The doctor looks over, his face contorted with rage and not looking quite human. He leaps off of the bed with superhuman agility and then stalks towards you. All right, this is our first combat, so we'll walk through how this works. First off, turn order goes by dexterity. He has 65. What is yours, Donald?
Damn, mine is a 60.
Guess we need to stick together from now on. Sorry we aren't there, Donald. You got this, though.
All right, so he is going to go first. He rushes you, trying to push you back into the wall. We will do a contested strength check, so you'll both roll strength.
That's a 51 out of 50.
Would you like to spend a luck point to make it a success?
Hell yes, I do. That only costs 1 luck point then?
Yeah, and he failed with an 88 out of 60. Also, if you use luck to succeed, you can't mark off your box for improvement. As he rushes you, you are able to body check him and push him back, but you feel slick, slimy, and webbed hands grabbing onto you. As you push him back, you see his face and eyes contort, looking almost frog-like. I'll have you roll for sanity.
That's a 41 out of 59.
The adrenaline of the moment focuses your mind. You do take 1 point of sanity damage, but you are able to realize that this is a matter of life or death and push through the psychological discomfort. It's your turn now.
Could I try to punch him? Or is there another bottle that I can grab?
Roll for spot hidden this time.
Damn, that's an 86.
You can punch him, but you don't find anything you could use as an improvised weapon.
All right, that's fine. Is that the fighting brawl skill?
Yeah, roll for that.
Damn, that's a 90.
All right, so this isn't a base rule in Call of Cthulhu, but I will allow you to push the roll if you want. You can roll again, but there would be consequences if you missed.
All right, I'm going for it. Thank goodness that was a close one. That's a 19 out of 40, so a hard success.
Nice! He tries to dodge, but only got a 28 out of 30, which is a regular success. So that's 1d3 damage plus your damage bonus if you have any.
I don't... Hell yeah, that's 3 damage.
You rear back and clock him in the jaw as he tries to move away. You feel his jaw disconnect as he falls onto his back, and his eyes pop out a bit more as his skin begins to turn a light shade of green. I'll have you make another sanity check, this time with a bonus dice.
That's another 41, so another success.
You won't take any sanity damage this time. You're still focused on fighting this thing. Lucas starts coughing as he pushes the pillow off of him, and then once he sees the doctor turning into a frog-like creature, he screams and curls up on the bed.
God damn it, Lucas, I'm trying to save your life here.
The doctor reaches out and grabs a bottle off of a shelf and throws it at you as he gets back up to his feet. That's an 82, so his throw is quite off. It shatters on the wall to your side as he stumbles back onto his feet. All right, it'll be your turn again, Donald.
Could I grab one of the shards from the bottle and try to stab him?
Yeah, I'll allow that. You might take some damage from the glass cutting your hand, though.
Worth the risk. All right, I'll do that. Is it still fighting brawl?
Yeah.
That's a 43, so I think I'll use 3 luck points to get it down to 40.
All right, he missed on his dodge, so that does hit then. I'll consider that a small knife, so it's 1d4 damage.
That's another 3.
You stab him in the chest, the glass cutting into your hand and dealing 1 point of damage to you. A gurgling sound comes from his throat as he slumps against a wall. His face slumps and continues its transformation into a frog-like creature. I'll have you roll 1 more sanity check. You did just kill and confront a monster.
Damn, that's a 59 out of 58. I guess I'll use 1 more luck point.
I gotta say, you did a crazy good job there, Donald.
You did. Sorry, though, Donald, you can't use luck on sanity rolls. Since you rolled so close, though, I'll have you take half the sanity damage. You take 2 points of sanity damage. You realize that you did just kill something, but it wasn't human and it was in self-defense. Lucas sits on the bed, bawling and rocking back and forth hysterically, constantly muttering, "I'm sorry, I'm so sorry," under his breath.
Can I make a psychology check on him?
Sure.
Fail, that's a 22 out of 10.
Yeah, he seems messed up, but there could be a lot of things on his mind. He didn't seem sane on the docks, he was just almost murdered, and now there is a dead frog thing on the floor.
Could I try leading him back to the inn? I think he'll be more safe there.
Sure, you can do that. He walks alongside you as you lead him, still muttering to himself. You make it to the inn and are able to lead him up to the room before Serena even comes out of the back.
All right, I also want to bang on these two useless people's doors and tell them to come to my room.
So how long after searching Sarah's room did this happen?
It did take a while for the fight to try calming Lucas and to lead him back. I'll say you got a good half an hour's worth of rest.
Could I compare the notes I found in Sarah's room with Dr. Blackwood's journal in that time?
Sure, do you want to make an occult roll?
That's a 100.
Damn, that would be really good in D&D.
Here, that is a fumble, though. You open up Dr. Blackwood's journal and find that your briefcase must have gotten water in it during your trip, ruining several of the pages. You spend the time trying to salvage the rest of the book instead of matching the symbols.
Fair enough. All right, then Donald comes knocking on the door.
I'm slamming my fist on the door. I had to do that whole thing just me. It's a good thing he rolled terribly.
I'll head down to Donald's room then.
In Donald's room, Lucas curls up on the bed, a once strong man who has been mentally broken by his experiences. The three of you are now standing in the room.
First off, I'd just like to point out that I am the greatest fighter and scholar of all time, and clearly the smartest one of us. The doctor would have killed Lucas if I didn't show up when I did.
Well, if we hadn't made it back when we did, then her room would have been cleared out.
If I didn't go to Lucas, I wouldn't have killed the freaky doctor who turned into a frog. Ben, do I realize that the frog looked like the other frogs from the shipwreck?
I'm not quite sure what that roll should be, so I'll give you a few options. You can roll for history, occult, or spot hidden.
I'll roll for spot hidden then. I only need a 50. Hell yeah, I am just unstoppable at this game. This is so much better than that Dungeons and Dragons crap. That's a 24, so a hard success.
Nice, all right, yes, you do realize now that you had seen those frog-like humans at the shipwreck as well.
Yeah, guys, those are the same frogs that were at the shipwreck. They probably killed the other passengers too.
Wait, I thought you said that you didn't see anything back then.
Well, I was lying, obviously. I was freaked out by seeing a bunch of giant frog people.
So, as a consequence of that remembrance, Donald, I am actually going to have you gain a phobia of the open sea. It terrifies you to think of being out there with those things.
All right, well, I'm acting like everything is fine, though.
Yeah, as to be expected. All right, so you're saying that this doctor turned into a frog person? What do you mean by that?
I mean that he was a doctor strangling Lucas. And then as we fought, he turned into a frog person. I stabbed him with a broken glass bottle. I'll hold up my hand to show my wound. And then after he died, he finished the transformation. He was a frog, kind of.
I think we should go see this firsthand. That means that anyone in this town could be a frog. Did he exhibit any signs that he wasn't human?
I don't know. I didn't stop to talk to him after I walked in on him suffocating Lucas with a pillow. My bad. Next time, I'll make sure to stop and ask, hey, are you a frog? God, you guys are the worst. I just had to kill that thing all by myself because you guys were all like, oh no, we need to go back to the safe hotel. And then I find you both in your rooms, not even investigating Sarah's. If I wasn't as awesome as I am, I could have died there.
All right, calm down, Donald. You're redder than the flag right now.
Whatever, just pointing out that I am the best and you guys are the worst.
All right, I'm sorry we weren't there. We did find some symbols here, though. They match some ones in an old journal that I found a while back. I need some more time to go over them to try to decipher some meaning, but there's also these words. The children were right. The town is the key. And the deep calls with this. Any ideas what that would mean?
No. I'm guessing the children is the children of the void, right? The cult? I don't know what the other things would mean.
Then there was also some scratches and a hole in the wall behind the door. Looks like someone broke in.
And the window was open. That destroyed a lot of the papers and scattered stuff all over the room.
That is kind of strange. Was the window open for a week then? That's when Serena said was the last time they saw Sarah, right?
That's a good point. Maybe they just never went in the room. That makes me think that not everyone is a frog then. If they had kidnapped her and the whole town was part of them, then they probably would have cleaned out the room.
So does that rule out Serena then? If she was a frog, it'd be pretty easy for her to just have someone clean the room out.
Probably. We can't be sure of anything, though. Also, what do we do with Lucas?
I think we should trust Serena. If he knows something, which it seems like he does even though he isn't exactly coherent right now, then she probably wouldn't have sent us to him, right? We could ask her to look out for him.
But that could put her in danger of more frog people, too. I'm not sure what their motives are, but they already tried to kill him once.
Did anyone see you bring him here?
Ben, did I see anyone?
Roll for a spot hidden, retroactively, I suppose. You'll need at least a hard success to see if you can remember anyone watching you.
Damn, that's a 57 out of 50.
You don't remember seeing anyone. You were a bit preoccupied with making sure Lucas was doing all right. Well, comparatively all right.
No, but we have to assume that someone saw me. I wasn't being discreet. I had just killed the doctor.
All right, well, let's just leave him here and lock the door. I think that's the best we can do if we don't want to involve Serena.
It could also be bad to involve her since she would probably think we did something to her grandpa. What about Bill? Do you think he is mixed up in all of this? Those fishermen did take him to the hospital, at least. If they were involved, then they probably just would have taken him to some back alley and killed him.
Yeah, there's just too much we don't know. All right, I'll show you the body and then we can move forward from there. What time is it, Ben?
It's just after midday, I think. The exhaustion of your previous night is wearing on all of you, though Joe did get a light rest while Donald was coming back with Lucas. He is doing the best out of all of you.
Maybe in the game, I think he is starting to fall asleep.
No, I'm not. I was just reading my character sheet.
I don't know. I feel like you were starting to nod off there. All right, let's go back to the hospital then.
You lock the door securely with Lucas still curled up on Donald's bed and head over to the hospital. As you enter, a young man comes out of the back room at the ring of the bell. Hello there. How can I help you, fellows? I'm sorry. The doctor isn't in today.
Wait, where's the body?
I'm sorry. What body?
The frog guy. I killed him just over there. I'll point over at the wall where I left the body.
I'm sorry. I'm just the apprentice here. And it was my day off until I was told that the doctor was out and I needed to come in. There was a frog guy that you killed?
He was the doctor, but then he transformed into the frog guy.
All right, trying to stay in character. Can I roll psychology on Donald just to see if he is hallucinating or anything?
On me? You should be rolling psychology on this idiot. Obviously, he is a frog person covering up for the body.
I'll allow the roll.
That's a 72, so a fail. I needed a 60.
All right, you can't quite tell, though he is quite hysterical at the moment.
Look, Donald, let's say that we believe you. What else can you tell us about what happened?
Oh, come on, this is so stupid. All right, are any of the signs of our fight still there, Ben?
Roll spot hidden again. You're rolling that a lot.
That's a 12. I actually want to use 2 luck points to make that an extreme success.
The glass has all been gathered up, though you are able to find a couple of shards, and you also spot a stain on the wall where the doctor had picked up the bottle that he threw at you. Finally, you find a bit of blood that had dripped into the floorboards, still wet.
Told you. Someone came through here and cleaned it up, but they must have been in a major hurry. What's the boy doing?
He is watching with a morbid curiosity, looking torn between calling the police and believing you.
All right, that's enough that I think I believe you. Do we interrogate him then? Try to find out if he is a frog person?
We are just going to tie someone up and interrogate him? This seems like a good way to land us all in prison.
A look of terror crosses his face, and he begins backing away slowly, backing up into a wall and trying to slip through the doorway.
All right, I'll move to stop him.
Me too, I guess. We can't have him running away. They'd probably toss us in jail just off of the presumption that we are dangerous. And we are sounding pretty crazy too.
All right, I'll have one of you roll for fighting brawl with a bonus dice because of the other one.
I have a 45.
Damn, I only have a 40. This game is so unrealistic. There is no way in hell that Joe could take me in a fight. All right, you can roll then.
That's an 18, which is a hard success then.
You are able to quickly move across the room as he cries out and tries running into the other room, but you are able to pull him into a chokehold and drag him to the floor. He struggles, trying to break free, but the two of you are able to pin him down, and he starts to lose consciousness, struggling less and less before collapsing into unconsciousness.
Holy hell, all right, well, I guess we are doing this now then. Can I find any rope?
I'll let all 3 of you roll for spot hidden to try to find some rope.
That's a 21 for me, just a regular success.
Damn, that's a 65 for me.
A 26 for me. I'll use 1 more luck point to make that a hard success.
All right, Joe, you are able to find some rope. Barack, you aren't able to find anything on that note, but you do find some bandages that you could use to treat Donald's hands with. Donald, you find a small Colt revolver with 6 bullets in a small locked drawer in the main office.
Holy hell, I truly am just the greatest of all time.
That's a good find. All right, I'll offer to patch up Donald's hands after we tie up the doctor's apprentice.
What's your first aid? Or would this be Medicine Ben?
It'll be first aid. Medicine takes a while longer but can recover more hit points. Just bandaging your hand, though, would be pretty quick, and use first aid instead.
Oh, damn, I shouldn't do it. What's your first aid, Joe?
I have a 30.
All right, I have a 32. Could I do the first aid instead, Ben?
You can, but it'll be a hard check since the injury is on your hand. For Joe, it'll just be a regular success. Actually, you know what? You are literally just wrapping the bandage around his hand. I don't think you even need to roll for that. Donald, you recover 1 hit point, though your hand is still sore when you press into it from the cut.
Cool. Knew I didn't need anybody's help.
Well, Joe still wrapped it. He just didn't need to roll for it.
All right, fine, but I didn't need his help.
Whatever, Donald. Let's see if this kid that we just strangled and tied to a chair is one of the frog people or not. I'm still not sure if I even believe you about the frog people, and we are going to get arrested if you're wrong.
All right, how would you guys like to run this interrogation?
Well, the frog guy turned into a frog while we were fighting. Perhaps it's linked to adrenaline then.
Wouldn't that have triggered for this kid when we were apprehending him then?
Yeah, that's a good point. If it was an adrenaline thing, then he would have transformed by now. Did we just assault and tie up a normal kid?
Maybe they can control it a bit then, I don't know. I've never met someone who could turn into a frog before.
Except the doctor, right?
Yes, except the doctor. Christ, what do you think I am, an idiot or something?
Look, Donald, I get that you think you might have killed the doctor, but also, what if you just hallucinated?
I found the broken glass in the blood.
Your hand, though.
For Christ's sake, his hand. That explains the blood. You're stressed and haven't slept and just went through a traumatic experience. Obviously, it's possible that you were just hallucinating. You thought you saw frog things at the shipwreck and then thought you killed the doctor who was also a frog thing.
God damn it, Ben. Can I roll psychology on myself to see if I was hallucinating? Is it possible that the frog thing I fought was just in my mind? I only took damage from my own hand. I guess it's possible.
Sure, I'll allow it.
This game is so rigged it isn't even funny. Let's go back to D&D. That's a 50 out of 10, so definitely a failure.
Looking at the evidence, or lack thereof, it's definitely possible that you could have hallucinated it. It has been a long day.
All right, I think we should free the apprentice then before people come and find us having tied up the kid.
And just try to chalk it up to an honest mistake? That seems like a long shot.
Is he still asleep?
Yeah, he is still asleep.
All right, here's what we do, guys. I can't believe I'm about to say this, but it's the only way I think we can get out of this shithole of a mess that we have put ourselves in. We untie him and stage it so that it looks like he fell and hit his head. Then we just try to make it all look like he was imagining things. We never talk about the frog people again and gaslight him if he accuses us saying that he's crazy. We go out the back way and just erase all evidence that we were here.
That sounds insane. Holy hell, it has been a long day. All right, let's do it and get out of here. I think we could all use a rest.
You're telling me. I swear, guys, I fought a frog thing, though.
Well, mechanically you did at least, but maybe your character didn't actually.
Whatever. Ben, are we able to stage it to look like that?
Yeah, it was an idea far enough out of the box that I'll say you were able to make it work. You don't know whether he will believe it or not, but you put a broken shelf right by his head as you lay him on the floor, and I'm assuming hit him with the shelf to make him believe it even more since he will have the welt when he wakes up. Then you were able to sneak out the back and all the way over to the Shrouded Mermaid without running into anybody. As you enter, you see Bill and a couple of the other fishermen inside. Hey guys, we hoped you'd be getting back here.
Why is that? We haven't done anything wrong.
No. We went out to where you said your ship wrecked. Couldn't find any sign of the boat itself. No wood or nothing. You're sure it was about 5 miles north?
That's what the captain said? We were in the middle of dinner at the time.
Strange. Yeah, we found what looks to be the beach you guys would have washed up on, and there were definitely footprints, but no boats of any sort. Not even the lifeboat you guys took to the shore.
That is strange. I'm sorry, we would love to talk more and thank you for looking for us, but we've had an unbelievably long day and kind of need to get some shut-eye. Do you mind if we head up to our rooms?
Of course not. Didn't mean to keep you up. We also brought Serena some fish for you three. She's the best cook in town, I'm telling you. You won't ever like fish anywhere else after tasting her cooking. Serena blushes a bit from behind the counter. Anyways, we will be heading out. Don't imagine you'd know anything about it, but Dr. Alcott didn't show up to work today. And after taking him up to the hospital, Lucas went missing. Haven't seen him in a hot minute, so we'll be out searching for them. Appreciate your help after you're rested up if you don't mind.
Of course, more than happy to lend a hand wherever. Though typically I'm more helpful in a library than in tracking someone I'm afraid.
I have a fair share of experience, though. It's not quite noon. Maybe after supper we can help you look. Sorry it's late, but I can't imagine it's anything urgent or dangerous.
Thank you muchly. Bill and the others head out, and Serena excuses herself into the back room. The three of you, exhausted for sure, head up to your rooms for some shut-eye. Donald, you find Lucas still curled up on your bed, though he seems to have calmed substantially.
Shit, he is on my bed. Fine, I guess I'll pull up a chair or something. I'm really slumming it here, guys, and I'm the one who paid for the rooms.
Maybe we can take watches. You could sleep in one of our beds and one of us can take over watching Lucas. Sounds like we have about 6 hours or so until supper, so we can take 2-hour increments.
Sold. I paid for the rooms, so I should get to sleep in a bed. I'll take the first watch, though.
All right, you are all able to get some rest. We will also take this time to roll for ability increases. So any skill that you have used, you'll roll for. Unlike other rolls, if you roll above your skill, then you'll also roll a d10 and add it to the skill. Also, if a skill gets raised to 90 or above, then the resulting confidence boost will recover 2d6 worth of sanity points.
I have fighting, pilot, spot hidden, and swim marked, so I get to roll for each of these?
Yeah.
I got a 49 for fighting, which is above my 45, so that's an additional 5 points there. A 98 for pilot for an additional 9 points there. A 68 for spot hidden for 4 points, and a 1 for swimming. I learned nothing new about swimming, I guess.
Just like Joe to waste a critical success roll when you need to get above your skill.
Shut up, Donald. That was pretty good, Joe. You raised 3 out of 4 skills.
Yeah, not bad. Apparently I'm a lot better at piloting boats now, so that'll come in handy later.
For mine, I got a 35 on occult, raising it by 5, a 58 on persuade, raising it by 7, a 20 on spot hidden, and a 65 on swim, raising it by 4.
Damn, when did you guys use all of these skills? I only have a check mark next to charm, fighting, and spot hidden. This is bullshit.
Well, just something to be aware of going forward to try to find reasons to use your other skills.
Whatever, I guess my stats are good enough that I don't need to raise them by much. God damn it, that's a 12, a 5, and a 13. I literally don't get to raise any of my skills at all. This is so lame.
I thought you didn't need to raise your skills at all.
I don't. I'm still like 1,000,000 times stronger than you and Joe put together. That's why you were able to improve. I just don't even have room for improvement.
I think you're just bad at the game.
Shut your damn mouth, Sleepy Joe. I'm the best and everyone knows it.
Okay, now that is done, the watch passes uneventfully. Lucas doesn't really move from his fetal position, but you all feel a lot better. It's just after 6 o'clock that you all rouse from your rests and start feeling better. You can smell the fish that Serena cooked wafting up from the kitchen, making your stomachs rumble. You haven't eaten anything since you were on the boat, maybe even before that for you, Joe.
All right, what do we do with Lucas then? Do we just come forward and say that we found him? I still am not sure if I was hallucinating or not, so he may or may not be in danger.
Yeah, maybe we just bring him downstairs and say that he showed up in the hallway? Then Serena can take it from there?
I don't think we should involve Serena still. If he is in danger, that is just putting her in danger too.
Aha! So you don't think I was hallucinating?
I think you were hallucinating the frog part. I think there's still a chance you did fight someone, and if you did, then maybe that someone was trying to kill Lucas. Serena seems nice. Let's not involve her if we don't have to.
That seems very coherent. Did you take a nap with your character, Joe?
Nah, man, it's all about the Sudoku. Really helps the neurons. And, the synaptical lenses or whatever those brain things. And, the logic side of your right side of your brain just really picks up, and then you're just smart and thinking smartly or whatever.
You spoke too soon, Barack.
Apparently so. All right, so that brings us back to what do we do with him?
Is he still unresponsive, Ben? Can I try to ask him some questions?
You can definitely try.
Hey, Lucas, do you know where you are?
He looks up, eyes stained red from crying for so long. I'm home, right? The mermaid?
Hot damn, all right, guys, we are on a roll now.
Yes, Lucas, that's exactly where you are. Do you know how you got here?
No, I don't remember. Tears start brimming in his eyes again.
Crap, we're losing him, guys. All right, Lucas, what can you tell us about the Children of the Void? You took them down, right?
No, I wish I had. But no, I just covered up the wound with a Band-Aid. I should have destroyed that blasted trove. I knew that it would be the end of us, the end of all of us. Once they found it again, then I wouldn't be there to stop them.
Hold up, I just realized something. Didn't the Children of the Void get run out of town like 100 years ago? How would Lucas be caught up with them?
No, they founded Dunsmouth about 100 years ago. My grandfather was one of them. I was supposed to take over, but I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't be responsible for that thing to come to this town. So I turned my back on them, 26 years ago this year.
What thing? Was it a frog?
He looks at you curiously. A frog? No, it is much worse than a frog.
Bro, let the frog thing go.
No. All right, Lucas, you stopped them somehow, but you didn't destroy the trove. Where is it at?
The trove? Why in the holy name of God's green earth would I tell anyone about that? I'll be damned if anyone else ever finds that abomination again. It is long gone.
No, those things are after it, and the rumor is out. People are going to find it, and we need to find it first.
What about Darlene? Did she come talk to you about this? What did you tell her?
She was a nice girl. I was sorry about what happened to her, but I couldn't stop them. I failed. I failed the world. He curls up on the bed, burying himself in his arms as he begins sobbing again.
I want to pull him up and look him in the eyes. Lucas, listen to me. We are your last chance. If anyone is going to stop whatever it is that you are talking about, it's us. But you need to tell us what is going on.
Trying to catch his breath between sobs, he slowly nods his head, tears streaming down his face. Do you have a pen and paper?
I feel like I would in my briefcase.
Yeah, you are able to pull some out. He begins scribbling some things onto it and then turns the paper back. You see those 3 phrases again, each with their corresponding symbols. The children were right, the town is the key, and the deep calls with this. This is what you need to know.
This is intriguing.
It's just the same as the symbols and stuff you found in Sarah's room.
Yeah, that's what's intriguing about it. What does this mean, Lucas?
He jabs a finger multiple times at the paper. The children were right. The town is the key. The deep calls with this. This is everything, don't you see? This is everything. Dunsmouth was built for this. It is the key, and the children were right. They expanded it into the forest, and the deep calls with this, the waterfront. It all connects, all of it. You'd need to destroy it. You'd need to destroy everything. They already have spread the sacrificial blood. All they need is the final sacrifice at the eye, and then the symbols will be activated and it will come. The end of the world.
Well, I guess it was too much to hope for him to make any sense. Obviously, he has more screws loose than Joe.
I think he is making a lot of sense. Obviously, we just need to stop the cultists from getting their final sacrifice.
Unless they've already got their final sacrifice. Maybe it's Sarah, and that's where she's vanished. It could make sense why they didn't clean out her room. If the world was ending anyways, what would be the point?
All right, so probably Serena and Todd are not frog people.
I'm not sold anyone is a frog person, but yeah, I think they are probably not cultists. Maybe we should leave Lucas with Serena then. Not a great option, but then he can be out of our hands.
Unless Donald was right and they are trying to kill him, we could be serving him up on a platter.
And if they don't have their sacrifice, then he would make an ideal candidate, especially if he is the reason why the cult wasn't successful back in the day.
So what then? Lock him in your room and just hope for the best? Bill and the others expect us to help them look for him, and he is just here in the room.
Better here than the eye, wherever that is.
Speaking of that, I had a thought. Can we pull up the symbols again, Ben?
Sure.
See how this part of the town is the key, kind of looks like an eye? That could have something to do with it, right?
Okay, so these cultists set up this symbol somewhere, and the sacrifice is at the eye of it? That's not particularly helpful.
It's something, though.
That's literally nothing. We should be investigating more of the frog people. Obviously, Bill and the other fishermen are in on it. They found nothing at the shipwreck. A boat the size of the Sea Witch can't just vanish overnight, can it, Ben?
The ocean can do crazy things. It isn't completely unreasonable to think that somehow it all vanished into the depths.
Can I do a psychology check on Lucas to see if there's any other information we can get out of him? Maybe the location of the trove?
Sure, I'll allow each of you to roll for that.
This is such complete and utter bullshit that I honestly have no words. That's a fumble.
That's a 45, which is a success on my part.
55 for me, that's a failure.
All right, Donald begins to try to pry some information out of Lucas, and he just completely shuts down. Barack, you can still mark off your box, but you aren't able to get any further information out of him as he curls back up into the fetal position on Donald's bed, closing himself off to the outside world.
God damn it, Donald.
Look, it's not my fault that you guys rigged my dice.
Why would we do that? It would literally just hurt us. We are all on a team here.
Yeah, except for the fact that you are both conspiring against me in order to make me look like a fool.
You don't need any help with that, Donald.
All right, guys, let's get back to the story. The smell of fish wafts up strongly from the kitchen, once again reminding you how hungry you all are.
Nice transition, Ben. All right, yeah, let's grab a bite to eat.
Yeah, whatever.
Are you locking Lucas in Donald's room?
Yeah, that seems like the best course of action.
All right, you lock the door, leaving Lucas behind on Donald's bed. Descending the stairs, you find Serena just finishing up cooking the fish and serving it up onto plates. Hey, sorry if I woke you with my cooking. I figured you'd be up around this time or you all would have slept clear through the night.
It smells great. Thanks for cooking this up. How much do we owe you?
No charge at all. In fact, Bill paid your tab in full. He said that you had been through enough to not have to worry about coming up with the cash, and I definitely agree. I wouldn't have charged at all, but you know, it's a small town and we don't get very many visitors. Any luck in finding out more about where Darlene went off to?
Nothing yet. We only talked to your grandfather for a moment. He didn't seem to quite be all the way there.
Yeah, Bill told me. He jumped in the sea, huh? Lucas has good days and bad. He still has nightmares about whatever happened back in the day. I hoped that talking it over would be good for him. He hasn't ever told me about it.
So you don't know much about him and his interactions with the Children of the Void?
Serena shivers slightly at the mention of their name. No, nothing much, I'm afraid. My parents died when I was pretty young, and so Lucas raised me with my grandma Betsy. They would never talk about it at all, but it really shook them up.
I'm sorry to hear that, but just out of curiosity, how old were you when your parents died?
I was really, really young, not even a year yet.
And how old are you now?
Well, you should know better than to ask a lady that, though I'm not old enough to be offended or anything. I'm 26.
Thank you for the food. It's delicious.
Serena looks at you quizzically, then nods. Thank you. It was my grandma Betsy's recipe. She died last year, and then things really took a turn for the worse for Lucas. He hasn't been in good sorts ever since.
Okay, so out of game moment for a second, Lucas mentioned that he betrayed the Children of the Void 26 years ago, and then Serena's parents died around the same time, and she was born at the same time, too. That can't be a coincidence, right?
That's what I was thinking. So what if the sacrifices that the children used 26 years ago were Serena's parents, but then Lucas couldn't go through with killing Serena?
That all seems to add up, so now they probably have Sarah somewhere. Why wait 26 years, though?
Maybe that trove that Donald is after wasn't so well hidden after all, and someone else has picked up the crown now that Lucas has been out of commission with Betsy passing away.
Makes sense. So we need to find the trove for sure. And Sarah too, of course.
All right, back to the game then?
Yeah, just making sure we are on the same page without letting Serena know everything that we know.
Well, this food was great, Serena, but we probably need to get going. We told Bill and the others that we would help look for Lucas and the doctor.
Oh, no need. Some of the other fishermen came in just about 20 minutes ago and said that they found them. Lucas had wandered off into the forest, and the doctor went off searching for him.
You don't say. Well, that solves it. The fishermen are all cultists then.
You said other fishermen? Bill wasn't with them?
No, Bill must have gone home to his family then. He has the cutest little boy, Arthur. They live in a small house down by the waterfront.
Maybe we'll go talk to him real quick. He might be helpful in finding out what all happened here.
As you start to make your way down to his house with the sun beginning to set in the west, Donald, you see a familiar man walking down the street whistling to himself. In the same dirty apron you saw him in this morning, Dr. Alcott is just moving along.
There's no way in hell I killed him.
You're saying that's the guy you killed? All right, you were definitely hallucinating then.
No, I wasn't. I don't believe that. Maybe these frog things can take the shape of anyone.
So your defense is shape-shifting frogs? All right, well, let's talk to him and see what he has to say.
Obviously, the fishermen were lying, though. They couldn't have found Lucas because he is with us.
That's fair. They were definitely lying about Lucas. That could have just been to comfort Serena, though. It's getting dark out. A search now wouldn't be that fruitful, probably.
That's a pretty flimsy lie that Serena would find out about in less than a day. No, they are lying and the doctor is a frog.
Hey, Dr. Alcott, how are you doing? We heard about your little trip into the forest.
The doctor looks up. Oh, hello there. You must be the couple of people who came into town this morning. Yes, I'm ashamed to admit that Lucas must have slipped through my fingers. I had no idea where he could have gone, so I went off in the forest. He used to have a cabin up there, and I thought that maybe he had traveled there in his addled state. I went after him, and then ended up getting lost myself. But then the guys came and found both me and Lucas. I was only about half a mile from the cabin, can you believe it? That close. But I've never had a great sense of direction in the forest. I'm definitely more at home on the sea.
Obviously, he is a frog, guys, so he has no reaction at all to seeing me?
No.
Okay, so I definitely didn't hallucinate then because I knew exactly what the doctor looked like.
Were there any pictures up in the hospital, Ben?
You do remember seeing some pictures of him hanging on the walls. You broke one and placed it next to the apprentice's head when you were faking his fall.
Damn it, Ben, you know goddamn well I wasn't hallucinating.
I know nothing of the sort. Anyways, was there anything you actually wanted to ask Dr. Alcott?
Yeah, we heard about Lucas. Thanks for going after him. I'm sure Serena really appreciated that.
Ah, yes, of course. She's a peach, that Serena. And Lucas is a long-standing member. Couldn't just have him wandering off through the forest. He is sedated now in the hospital, getting some much-needed rest.
All right, after we check out Bill's house, we are going straight there. That'll set the matter straight since we know that Lucas is in my room.
That sounds like a plan. Thanks, Doctor. Just wanted to say that we appreciate you. And we'll be sure to stop by if we need anything, though we all made it off the ship quite easily and injury-free.
He looks for a second at Donald's bandaged hand. Yes, of course. Anything you need. Happy to help out. He continues on down the road, stopping to unlock and enter a house just a short distance down the road.
This is bullshit for sure. I killed him.
No body, though, Donald. All right, let's get over to Bill's house and make sure he's all right. And then we can go see what this fake Lucas is, or if the doctor was just lying to us about him in a further ploy to comfort Serena.
Yeah, that definitely makes no sense. He would have just come clean to us, I think. I'm thinking that Donald's shape-shifting frog idea might not be that unlikely, except for, all of it.
God damn it. All right, what do we find at Bill's house, Ben?
You reach Bill's house down by the waterfront, a modest enough house with a chimney and a couple of windows. You notice right off the bat that there are no lights on in the house, despite the setting sun and the long shadows being cast by the other buildings and the trees to the west.
Something's wrong. Can I open the door, Ben?
Opening the door, you find the house is a mess. Broken furniture, some holes in the walls. It looks like there was quite the fight that happened here.
Well, should we all roll spot hidden then?
Yeah, that would be good. Is there anything in particular that you are looking for?
That's a 53 for me, which is a fail. I'm looking for any trace of what happened here, though.
Damn, that's a 98. I was looking for the same thing as Joe, I guess, not finding anything, though.
Guess it's all up to me yet again. God damn it, these dice are so rigged. That's an 81.
Well, you can all push your rolls if you want, but there will be consequences if you fail.
I'm pushing mine. Aha, that's a 26. See, guys, told you I had this all under control. As a matter of fact, I'll even use 1 point of luck to make that a 25 and a hard success.
Well, you did fail the first roll. Any of us could have succeeded on the second.
Did anyone else want to push the roll, or just Donald?
Yeah, just Donald, I guess. I don't want to risk it.
That's right, you all are just cowards. What do I find, Ben?
You find some blood by a shattered stool. It looks like someone had broken it on someone else's back. The blood and debris has been smeared and pulled away, looking like the person hit was dragged out of here unconscious. It is still wet, so it had to have been pretty recent.
Damn, we were too late, guys. Do I spot any signs of where he would have been dragged off to?
The trail ends shortly outside, leading in the general direction of the docks and the rest of the waterfront, but you aren't able to follow it much further than that.
Can I try to use my tracking on it?
Sure, that's a good use of that skill.
That's a 3, so an extreme success.
Even in the dwindling light, you're actually able to see a small drop of blood about another 10 feet further down the road, a speck of light glinting off of it as you turn your head just right. Rushing down to it, you can see another one, and another, leading you all the way to a small fishing shack right by the water and the docks.
Damn, nice work, Joe. That was a great roll.
Whatever, he couldn't have done it without me.
Stop being a jealous loser, Donald. All right, what's in the shack?
Opening the door, you find Bill, a gash on the back of his neck, as well as a woman and Arthur all tied up in the shack next to a barrel of fish with gags in their mouth. The woman has a terrified expression on her face, and Arthur has clearly been crying the entire time. Bill is unconscious.
It's okay, we are going to get you out of here. Can we untie them, Ben?
Easily enough, you are able to untie all 3 of them and remove the gags. As you remove the woman's, she begins sobbing again. Thank you all so much, the others. They just started attacking Bill. I didn't know what to do, and then they tied me up as well. What is wrong with them? It was like they were possessed. Then they dragged all 3 of us into this shed. I thought we were going to die.
Well, you don't need to worry. You're safe now. Let's get you up to the Shrouded Mermaid and see if Serena wouldn't mind looking after that gash on Bill's neck. You should be safe enough there.
I don't like the idea, but yeah, that seems like the best thing to do, I guess. We need to investigate the hospital too, and now there could be other fishermen somewhere out there.
You need to know something too. The others, they seemed... I know I'll sound crazy for saying this, but it looked like they were starting to turn into, well, something that wasn't human.
Hell yeah, was it frogs? Were they turning into frogs?
She looks at Donald rather perplexed. Yeah, like frogs. Before beginning to cry again, she stammers, I'm sorry, I know, I must be crazy. It's what I saw, though.
Well, I think we believe you. Things are a bit too strange for much else to be the case.
You are able to get the 3 of them to safety in the inn, where you surprisingly find Lucas sitting at the table eating some food and talking with Serena. Oh my God, Bill, Martha, Arthur, are you okay? What happened to you? The fishermen, they attacked Bill. He tried fighting back, but they were too strong and there was too many. Come back here. I have a sewing kit and I can patch up that nasty cut. I saw Dr. Alcott heading home for the day, so we'll just have to make do here.
Yeah, and the good doctor is one of those demons that attacked the 3 of them.
What do you mean, demons?
Does Lucas seem to be doing better?
He seems to be at least a bit more lucid.
It doesn't matter, Serena. Is it okay if we talk to Lucas for a minute? Would you be up to that, Lucas?
Yeah, we need to talk. My apologies on not being quite present. It's been, well, a traumatic year. I haven't been myself in quite some time.
You seem a bit better off than you were when we last talked, Lucas.
A bit. Serena, dear, would you mind excusing us for just a minute so that we can talk? She bites her lip, but acquiesces. Of course, come Martha and Arthur. Let's get Bill patched up. Serena, Martha, and Arthur all exit to the back, leaving the 3 of you alone with Lucas.
All right, Lucas, spill it. What in the hell is going on here?
It's a long story.
Make it quick. We need to get over to the hospital. You're there, supposedly at least.
I don't know what they are. If that's what you're looking for, I'm sorry. But I do know what they need to do in order to accomplish their plans.
What's that?
I told you before about the symbols, right? They always mess with my head. Do you still have them?
Yeah, I think I put them in my briefcase. I'll pull out the paper and hand it over to him.
Thanks. All right. Before we go any further, you need to know that the Children of the Void founded Dunsmouth. My great-grandfather did. They wanted somewhere to practice their religion that was outside of the oversight of any nosy neighbors. At first, it was an honest enough reason. But then Vlad came to town with all of those damned books. Pretty soon, they had turned from an honest enough religion to a cult and renamed themselves the Children of the Void. They tore down the town and remade it, following very specific instructions from the books that Vlad brought.
All right, how do these symbols fit into it?
They built the town on top of these symbols. Let me find that map. I know Serena keeps it back here somewhere. All right, here we are. Look, the town is the key. The children were right. The deep calls with this. 3 eldritch symbols that the idiotic simpletons literally built their town and made into a twisted slogan of some sort.
These symbols are huge then.
Alone, they aren't much more than simple drawings. But if you put them together, it generates power. Just like words have power, these symbols do too. Last night, in the middle of the storm, I was out on the docks, petrified. There were so many of them, carrying bodies and painting the streets red. These particular streets, they activated the symbols last night.
You said that they needed a sacrifice.
More than one. They are trying to summon Malgarath, the devourer of the deep. At least that was what Vlad was trying to do.
I'm a bit confused. You said your great-grandfather started all of this? How'd you get mixed up in it?
Every 26 years, the constellations align just right. 50 years ago, something went wrong with the ceremony. I don't know what, but it messed up their plans. Then 26 years ago, I put a stop to it. I called in the National Guard and they arrested most of the children. The town has slowly accumulated people again, but apparently some of them aren't human. Malgarath is restless. He wants to be free. I can hear his voice in my dreams. See his face. It's terrible. You must stop them.
And just how should we go about doing that?
The sacrifices. You need to stop the sacrifices. They must have them somewhere.
Sounds like we need to go talk to the Lucas in the hospital then.
He must be one of them, yeah. Maybe you can coerce him into telling the truth. I'm afraid I won't be much help. Anytime I see one of them, I break. I can't control it.
Okay, let's head over to the hospital then, but before we go any further, I think I should have the handgun.
Like hell.
Why do you think you should have it, Joe?
I have a 45 in handguns, so I think I probably have the most experience. If there really are these frog things around, I think we want me to have the gun.
God damn it! Why is my character so weak at some things when I am so clearly amazing at everything? Fine, you can have the gun, I guess. Are there any melee weapons I can get, Ben?
While you are at the Shrouded Mermaid, you are able to pick up a knife. You are able to as well, Barack.
Better than nothing, I guess. All right, to the hospital then?
Yeah, that sounds good.
You make your way to the hospital, finding it locked as you arrive. Just inside, you can see a shape asleep on the bed.
Anyone have any lockpicks or skill in that?
I got nothing. That's locksmithing, yeah?
Yeah, that'd be locksmithing.
I got nothing either.
Do we just break it down then?
We can see in a window, yeah, Ben? Is the window locked too?
The window is locked, but it's a rather flimsy one that you can see. You might be able to lift it up and get in that way.
So we can either bust down the door or enter in through the window?
We should obviously do the window, right?
Only one of us could enter at a time, though. If it's a trap and there are other people hiding in there, it'd be easy to ambush us.
Damn, I didn't think about that.
I know I'm a genius. I think we should break down the door.
That'll be a lot louder, though. No way we are doing that quietly.
Fine, let's settle this the old-fashioned way and just vote on it. I'm voting to go in through the door.
And I'm voting to go in through the window. Joe can cover me while I go in and scout it out. It's your choice, Joe.
Wow, I'm the swing vote then, huh? I can see pros and cons of what you were both saying. I think that we should think this through a bit more. We don't want to make the wrong choice. And you see, there is the more likely to succeed of the two choices. And then you have to account for all of the other variables. And I guess we are left to choose our own path and whatnot. I once found myself in a similar situation in high school. And after that, I was talking to my father, and he told me something pretty profound.
All right, let's kick in the door. I know where this is going. Nowhere.
Knew you'd see reason. All right, Ben, we are kicking in the door.
Well, that's kind of rude. Fine, though. Glad you both can finally agree on something.
Trust me, Joe, it takes a special kind of stupid to get me and Barack to agree on anything.
All right, I'll have you both roll a strength check to see if you can kick down the door. I'm guessing you're not trying to do it that stealthily or anything?
Yeah, I just want to kick it in. That's a 25, right on point for a hard success on my part.
That's a 70 for me, and I needed a 60, so it's a good thing Donald got it on his roll.
I thought you only had a 50 strength?
No, I have 60, see?
Oh, huh.
The pair of you are able to kick in the door, stumbling into the room as the man on the bed bolts upright and to his feet. Even in the dim light, you clearly recognize Lucas as the man. What is the meaning of this? Who are you people?
A better question is, who are you? And don't say Lucas Brown. We know that's not true.
That's preposterous. Of course I'm Lucas Brown. Who else would I be?
One of those frog people.
I'm sorry, frog people. I don't know who you all are, but it sounds like you need help. Please, just let me go.
Sorry, that's not going to happen. We happen to know that Lucas is safe at the Shrouded Mermaid. Who are you?
Lucas smiles wickedly. The mermaid, you say? We were wondering where he had gotten off to. You see Lucas's skin beginning to turn a light shade of green as his eyes begin bulging and his face begins contorting. He begins to chuckle, which soon turns into a ribbit-like sound. You see two other frog people come from the back room and hear movement running away outside. I'll have you all roll sanity checks, Donald. You'll have a bonus dice on the roll. Then we'll go to initiative.
Damn, I was kind of hoping Donald was hallucinating.
Screw you, Barack. I told you both that there was a frog, but oh no, let's all try to gaslight Donald into thinking he's crazy. Well, it didn't work, did it?
That's a 48 on my part, which is a success.
A 43 on mine, that's a success too.
Damn it, that's a 68, which is a failure for me. God damn it, I have seen these things before. Why would I be affected now?
Barack and Joe, you both had secretly been bracing yourself that maybe Donald was telling the truth, so you are able to steadfastly confront the creatures, though you both do take 1 point of sanity damage. Donald, you take 2 more points of sanity damage. It would have been 4, but you've taken the max damage from this type of creature for the next while. Your phobia of the open waters does become entrenched in your psyche, though.
Yeah, whatever. Just glad that these two idiots finally see that I was telling the truth.
All right, so the frog people all have 65 dexterity. Joe, you'll get to add 50 to yours because of your firearm. Barack, what's your dexterity?
Mine's 65 as well.
You're cheating, aren't you, Barack? I thought you were supposed to be some kind of professor guy. Now you're faster than me?
I guess so.
All right, so it'll go Joe, then the frog people, then Barack, and then finally Donald. All right, Joe, what do you want to do for your turn?
Well, I'm going to shoot at them. How does this work?
All right, so you can fire up to 3 shots in a round, but each successive shot will have 1 additional penalty dice. If you are within 1/5 of your dexterity from your target, then you'll also have 1 bonus dice.
So if I move within 13 feet, which should be pretty easy, then I can fire 2 shots with no penalty dice? Can I push rolls and use luck still?
I'll let you push dice for firearms too, but the consequences could be pretty bad if you fail the pushed roll.
Makes sense. All right, I'll move within the 13 feet and fire at the formerly Lucas Frog person.
All right, he sees you moving forward and is going to dive for cover. That's an 83, so he does fail. If he succeeded, you'd get a penalty dice.
That's a 20, which is a hard success. Does that do anything special?
I'll let you add 1d4 piercing damage since you got 2 levels of success above him. Also, a note to the audience, this is definitely a heavily homebrewed combat system to make things simpler for all of us who haven't played before.
How much damage is the firearm?
1d6.
That's a total of 8 damage then.
The frog person tried diving behind the bed, but you leveled your pistol and took a careful shot, firing right through his chest as he dove. He lands with a thud, and there isn't any further movement coming from that side of the bed.
Nice, Joe.
I'll then shoot at a different one of the frog people.
This one isn't going to dodge, instead opting to try to move closer and disarm you after you fire.
That's a 57. Damn, should I push the roll, guys?
You should have just let me have the gun. I would have rolled better.
No, you wouldn't have. We have all been rolling terrible this whole game. I think you should push it. Might as well. Though I don't foresee this being that tough of a fight. They seem to have only like 6 hit points or something.
Just saying I would have killed them all in one turn if I had the gun.
Shut up, Donald. All right, I'll push the roll then. God damn it, that's an 87. I'm not spending 42 luck points to make that hit.
You try taking a second shot, but notice too late that the spring in the trigger must have snapped or something. Pulling the trigger does nothing. The frog person makes it all the way to you and moves to snatch the gun away. I'll have you make a competing dexterity check.
That's a 56.
I got a 46. So since we tied on the level of success, but you aren't fighting back because of how quickly the revolver didn't work, the attacker is going to win that one. He is able to grab the gun out of your hand, disarming you, and then moves to hit you with the hilt. That's an 83, which fails. You are able to duck out of the way as he tries to hit you. All right, the other frog person is going to pull out a knife as well and move to hit Donald. Donald, do you want to try to dodge or fight back?
That's a choice. I can fight back.
You can, but then if you tie on the level of success, he will win the hit. If you try to dodge, then he needs to beat you in order to score a hit.
Well, of course I'm going to fight back. This guy is as good as dead.
That's a 38 on my part, which is a regular success.
Damn, that's a 32 for me, so we tied. He hits me then?
Yeah, he is able to swing with his knife, and though you try to counter, the frogman is quicker. You take 3 points of damage as he slashes your arm.
Damn it. All right, Barack's turn then. Go fast. I'm going to wreck this guy.
Well, I'll move to attack the guy who attacked Donald. That's a 22, which is a success.
Damn, I am rolling really poorly. That's a 67 on my part, which fails. The frogman isn't able to recover quite quick enough from slashing Donald, and Barack is able to come in and slash at him. How many points of damage, Barack?
That's 4 damage.
You cut a deep gash into his side, and he lets out a croak and then falls over. All right, Donald, your turn. If you're attacking this frog, you'll also get a bonus dice since he was already attacked once.
All right, time to kill this guy.
He's going to try to dodge.
Whatever, it won't matter. I'm killing him. God damn it, that's a 91. What the hell did you guys do to my dice?
We didn't do anything to your dice. You can push the roll if you want.
Of course I'm pushing the goddamn roll. I am just done with this stupid game. That's a 55. I guess I'll use 15 points of luck to make it so it isn't a complete failure.
I got a 94, so you do land a clean blow.
That's 4 damage.
You plunge your knife down, and it lets out a dying gasp as it reaches out a hand towards the last remaining frogman, who is going to make a run for it. This is going to start a chase scene if you all want to run after him.
Of course we are running after him.
But then the others might make it to the Shrouded Mermaid. Serena, Bill, his wife, Arthur, and Lucas could all be in danger.
Wait, guys, I just realized something. How do we even know that the people we rescued are Bill, his wife, and his son? These frog things seem capable of transforming into anyone. Even one of us could be a frog person.
That's a question to answer after the fact. We need to chase after this guy.
All right, yeah, let's get going then. How do chases work, Ben?
Well, we are going to need to look at move rates for everyone involved. In this case, I think that everyone has a movement speed of 8, so you all are going to get 1 action per turn. Should move pretty quickly then. The frog person will go first, and then we'll go in dexterity order. So Joe, Barack, and then Donald. For his turn, the frog person is going to bolt out the back door and onto the street.
Wait, if we all have only 1 action, we'd never be able to catch him, right?
Unless you find a way to slow him down or he gets caught on something and you guys get past it, then no, you won't be able to catch him. I'm assuming for the first turn, you all want to run outside?
Could I actually grab the revolver instead?
The frogman ran away with the revolver, though since the spring broke, honestly, it is just an expensive paperweight unless you took it to a gunsmith.
Nice going, Joe. You ruined our only firearm.
You guys are the ones who told me to push the roll.
Not me, I never said that.
Look, guys, what's done is done. We need to find a way to catch the frog guy. Yeah, Ben, we'll all move out the door as well.
You run outside just in time to see the frogman jumping up onto a low roof. That's a 32, so he scales it easily with his frog-like appendages. You could try to climb onto the roof as well or run down the alleyway beside the house.
I have a 35 for climb, so I'll try to climb up after him. Damn, that's a 58. Could I push the roll again?
That didn't work well last time.
Yeah, but we'll lose him if we don't try.
Yeah, you can push the roll.
That's a 40. I'll use 5 luck points to make that a success then.
All right, not nearly as gracefully as the frogman, you are able to clamber up onto the roof and continue your pursuit. Barack?
Well, I guess I'll follow in the alley.
I'll have you roll for spot hidden to see any obstacles that might be in your way.
That's an 81. Can I push the roll?
You can.
Damn, still a 57. Guess I'm spending 7 luck points. It would be really bad to fail, I'm guessing. Probably break my leg or something.
Stumbling through the alley, it's only by sheer luck that you narrowly avoid a broken barrel and a stack of crates. Donald?
Is there anything that I could throw at him, like a bottle or something?
Roll for luck.
It's about damn time. I told you guys I am the best. That's a 1.
Wow. All right, I won't even make you roll for throwing it then. You see a beer bottle on the side of the road, and instinctively you pick it up and lob it at him. It crashes on his head, dealing 2 points of damage, and he slips and begins falling to the street, landing with a thud on his back and letting out a low croak.
Nice going, Donald. Is it still alive, Ben?
It is, only barely letting out raspy breaths.
I want to plant my shoe on his chest and standing over him ask, what are you things? Why are you doing this? Where is the trove?
Don't forget about Sarah.
Oh yeah, where's Sarah too? Why'd you guys destroy our boat?
He looks up at you and then points to the ocean. We are the deep, and we do it for him. He's coming. He coughs again, blood bubbling up through his throat. We've already won. He gasps for breath, but isn't able to find it and slowly slips into the silent void of death.
Damn. All right, guys, we need to get over to the Shrouded Mermaid. It sounds like they were looking for Lucas already.
Yeah, and then you let the cat out of the bag.
I'm sorry, all right. It was an honest mistake. Let's just hurry over there before it's too late.
As you rush through the town, you don't find any signs of civilization. No children play outside, no lights are on in houses. The only sounds are your own footsteps running through the street. As you arrive at the Shrouded Mermaid, you find the door hanging on its hinges. Stepping inside, you find Bill, a knife in his stomach, sitting with his back propped up against the front desk. I'm sorry, I tried to fend them off. Demons they were, frog demons. They took Arthur and the others. I couldn't stop them.
Can I try to patch him up with first aid, Ben?
You can, but he is dying. He's already lost a lot of blood, and the knife is pretty deep, probably cutting up his stomach and intestines. If this was today, perhaps he could be saved in an emergency room. You can postpone it by using your first aid, but you've seen enough similar wounds that you know he's a dead man.
I'm sorry, Bill. We'll get Arthur and the others back, I promise.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I don't know where they went, but one of them mentioned the harbor. Hopefully you can find them. I don't know what they are, but there's a hunting shotgun in my house if you can get it. It's under the bed in the bedroom. You might need it.
Thank you. All right, to the harbor then? His house is down by there, right, Ben?
Yeah, his house is on the waterfront. You could definitely grab his gun before investigating the harbor.
All right, well, I'm grabbing the shotgun this time. Not going to let you ruin it again, Joe.
I have a 40. What do you have?
Only the base 25. I'm luckier, though.
Joe has used up less luck points, though. He should take it.
God damn it, fine. Ben, can I find any other sort of weapon on our way down to the harbor or in Bill's house?
Roll for luck.
Hell yeah, that's a 7.
You find a machete. That'll be 1d8 damage then.
Hell yeah. All right, Joe, you can keep the shotgun.
How much damage does it do, Ben?
It's a regular 20-gauge hunting shotgun. It deals 2d6 damage on a hit within 10 feet, 1d6 within 20, and 1d3 within 50.
Nice.
Can I find anything, Ben?
Roll for luck as well.
That's a 65 out of 65.
You are able to find a bit bigger knife than the regular kitchen knife you were using. It deals 1d4 plus 2 damage.
Not bad, though the fact that you gave us all better weapons is telling me we are probably walking into a trap.
Of course we are. This is getting towards the end of the one-shot. We are going to be walking in on the cultists performing their final ritual to summon this Malgarath or whatever, and we are going to stop them. Well, I am. You guys might be able to help out a bit.
What if we just left you to defeat them alone, Donald? What would you do then?
I would still win. I always win.
Not the election.
You're right. I win everything that's fair and where people aren't cheating.
Not this again. All right, are we at the harbor then, Ben?
As you approach the harbor, you finally see a glimmer of light in the distance. It looks like a cave, one you must have passed right by, but the entrance would be underwater unless it's during low tide. You also notice that Lucas's chair on the dock is aimed right at it as though he has been watching over it every day.
Well, that's where we are heading then. Can we roll for stealth, Ben?
Sure, I'll let one of you roll with a bonus dice.
Damn, I only have a 20.
Me too.
I only have a 20 as well. I can roll, though, and use some luck points if I get close. Otherwise, we just go in guns blazing and knives out?
Fine. I'm saving all my luck for inside the cave.
Don't even need luck, though I will spend 2 points to make it a hard success. That's a 12. Then after spending luck, that's a 10.
You are able to move in quietly. What's your order as you enter the cave?
I'll be in front with the shotgun.
Well, I'm not going to let Barack go ahead of me, obviously, so I'm right after Joe then.
And I'm taking up the back, I guess.
Entering the cave, it is very damp at the entrance, with some oil lamps lighting the way. It is a long, winding passage, and looking at the walls, it is clear that this cave has been blasted through with dynamite. It winds back towards the town, and you can start to hear echoes of chanting. As you reach the end, it opens up into a large cavern, and you can see the well in the town at the ceiling. As you enter the cavern, crouched low to avoid detection, you see about 20 of the frogmen and Lucas, Serena, Martha, and Arthur, as well as several other townspeople in a cage off to the side.
Is now a good time, Ben?
Yeah, I think now would be appropriate.
Appropriate for what?
I'm gonna hit Donald from behind, trying to knock him out.
You've got to be fucking kidding me. You're a traitor.
Well, I am now.
All right, roll for your hit, Barack. You'll get 2 bonus dice since it's completely unexpected.
That's a 2, so an extreme success. And Frog Barack will use a luck point to make it a critical.
The frog people all turn to face the 3 of you as Donald. You feel a crushing blow coming from behind. Your vision swims as you fall into unconsciousness. And in the center of the room, too late now, Joe, you see Barack, knife in his chest atop a crude altar made of bones. Donald is incapacitated, Frog Barack is behind you, and there are a bunch of frogmen in front of you. What do you want to do?
Damn! How long have you been a frog person, Barack?
Ben pulled me aside and told me about it when we were all sleeping. You actually almost caught on to it, Joe, when you asked how we would know that none of us were frog people. And Donald, you almost did when you thought my stats were different.
Yeah, I knew you were cheating. I just wasn't going to say anything. Damn, all right, Joe, are you shooting your way out or are you surrendering?
I think surrender is my best option, yeah? Though maybe I should try to take out as many frog things as I can.
It's up to you.
If I fight, I think I'll die. All right, I'm hoping for a miracle, but I'll surrender.
Knew you were a coward, Joe.
Shut up, Donald. If I fought, you'd have said I was an idiot.
Would not.
Would too.
All right, Joe, you surrender your gun and are roughly led over to the cage with everyone else, and Donald, you are dragged along behind him.
It's finally time. Malgarath the Devourer of the Deep will come. His arrival shall not be delayed any longer. I'll move to lead the chant and the ritual.
I'll be trying to wake up Donald.
Roll for first aid, Joe.
That was the perfect roll. That's a 3.
It's about time you did something, Joe.
Donald, with a splitting headache and seeing double, you are able to regain consciousness. You'll heal 1 point of damage. The frog people open the cage and take out one of the townspeople you don't recognize, throwing him on the altar and plunging another ceremonial dagger into his chest. A basin below begins to fill up with the crimson liquid. Lucas looks up at the 2 of you. I'm so sorry. I thought we could stop it. I didn't realize it was inevitable.
Stop quoting Thanos. Ben, can I roll for spot hidden or anything to help us get out of here? There's like 20 frogmen, yeah?
You can. I'll let both of you roll for that.
Damn, that's a 68.
That's a 32 for me.
Joe, you genius. Good job.
Joe, off to the side, fallen into a small crack. You see a couple of sticks of mining dynamite. Somehow a couple of them must have been left behind, tucked in a corner, just barely held up above the water level. You are able to even reach it from the cage.
O Devourer of Worlds, we summon you now from your prison in the depths to reclaim your rightful inheritance. With this blood, we loosen your chains. With these symbols, we awaken you. With these sacrifices, we call you from the deep.
Damn! Ben, so you're saying that it's either we light this dynamite somehow and blow up the whole cave, or let this devourer of the deep character free to destroy the world?
I didn't say that those were your only options.
Is Sarah in the cave?
Ah, yes, I had almost forgotten. You do also see Sarah next to the altar with a similar blade in her chest as in now in Barack's and the other townsperson. All 3 of them have been killed within the last 20 minutes or so.
Damn! All right, Donald, I'll light the dynamite and you need to make a run for it.
How are we going to light it?
It's a ritual. I'm guessing there's candles and the like. Yeah, Ben?
There are those oil lanterns all around lighting the place.
All right, so Donald, we all need to push out as soon as they come for the next prisoner. In the chaos, I'll break a lamp and light the stick. You and everybody else need to run for the doors. At least some of you will make it.
Fine with me, I guess. Ben, can I communicate that to everyone else quietly but quickly?
Roll for fast talk.
It's about damn time I get to do that roll. I have a 60 in that skill, but how many times have I been able to use it just now? That's a 5. Extreme success.
All right, you are able to get everyone on board pretty quickly. One of the frog people come over to take the next sacrifice, and then everyone rushes through the door as quickly as possible. Though surprised, the frog people do recover quickly and begin hitting at all of the escaping sacrifices. I'll have both of you roll for dexterity to try to avoid them while accomplishing your tasks.
That's a 47. I'll use 46 points of luck to make it a 1, though.
That's a 46. I'll also use the rest of my luck to make it a 25, though. See ya, Joe. Nice knowing you. Thanks for sacrificing yourself and all of that.
A handful of the sacrifices, including Serena, Arthur, and Donald, are able to make it to the entrance as Joe, you smash an oil lantern and light the dynamite. It is all over in just a matter of seconds. You don't light the end of the fuse, Joe, opting instead to ignite it right above the blasting cap. As you run out of the cave, Donald, the ground begins to shake as the cave collapses. Emerging out the other side, the moon shines brightly through the clouds above as you see the middle of the town collapsing into the cavern below.
Well, I thought I would feel better since I'm the only one who made it out alive. But honestly, that was a close one. If the dynamite hadn't been there, then we didn't really have a way out. That was a masterclass betrayal, Barack.
Thanks. Yeah, I definitely tried to give out some hints, like telling the frog people that Lucas was at the Shrouded Mermaid and telling you my switch stats. Or even just that I said I thought I would have paper in my briefcase. Anyways, just little things that I'm sure will stick out more on a rewatch.
And you're welcome, Donald. If I didn't sacrifice myself, there's no way you would have overcome the 20 frog people on your own.
Begrudgingly, I'll admit that you were right. Though I could have taken them if I had the shotgun and wasn't hit from behind.
As you look out on the ocean, Donald, you do find your phobia of the ocean being slightly abated as you see a Coast Guard ship coming into the harbor. It pulls up next to the small group of only 8 survivors. Hello there. A couple of sailors made it up to Hillsborough and told us about the shipwreck, so we came right away.
Yeah, couldn't have been soon enough. Get me out of this hellhole.
Everything okay? We heard the explosion and came as soon as we could.
Just a cult trying to end the world, nothing new. I suppose these other people will probably need some help too. It's a shame that we didn't find the trove, though. I'll have to hire some people to come down here and search for it.
Okay. Well, just let me call this in. But yeah, let's get you folks up to Hillsborough. Anybody else that we need to bring?
There's probably more people in the town somewhere. Not everyone was in the cave, but a lot were.
The Coast Guard is able to round up the remaining survivors and the boat begins to sail back to Hillsborough. It was a very long day for you, Donald, one that I'm sure changed you forever as you shiver thinking about the horrors that you experienced alongside Joe and Barack. However, things begin to look up. The ship arrives in Hillsborough, and you are able to get a nice warm bed and a hot meal before turning in for the night, and your dreams are surprisingly restful as your brain largely tries to ignore your experiences. It seems that everything is going to be all right.
Damn it, Ben.
However, down beneath rubble and a mountain of stone, the blood of the remaining survivors and the frog people begin to mix in the basin in the destroyed cave, a worthy sacrifice for the devourer from the deep, blood of his servants and of those who died trying to prevent his return. Far away from civilization, the streets of Dunsmouth begin to glow with a dim green light. The waters begin churning as something rises out of the deep. Malgarath, the ancient, the primordial, the devourer of the deep, begins to awaken, freed from his chains at last.
God damn it!
Damn, my sacrifice was for nothing then.
I must say that's a fitting ending for a Call of Cthulhu campaign, though. Everything we did was for nothing. The terrors of the void truly are inevitable.
Thanks. And thank you to all of our viewers who made it this far. We hope you enjoyed this Call of Cthulhu campaign. Tabletop RPGs are truly a great tool and resource to develop friendships and have a lot of fun. And hopefully this encourages you to gather up a group of friends, at a table or virtually, and see if there is something that is the right fit for you. There are a lot of different systems out there besides just D&D, though that is one of our favorites. There are an infinite number of settings and a nearly infinite number of systems that you can experiment with to find your favorite ones.
And as always, if you liked the movie, please like, comment, and subscribe to help out the channel. We really appreciate it as it allows us to reach more and more people to hopefully bring a bit of entertainment.
Thanks for joining, everyone. We will see you all next time.